Hi folks, this is video number 46 and the title is Mr. Twister. Mr. Twister, that's me. My friends tag me with that alias because it seems that I attract tornadoes like a trailer park. The first one I recall affecting my life came through a mile or so down the road when I lived in the Jenningsville area. It tangled up about a half acre of our trees that were right along the road. It was a dangerous job having to cut them down. In '98, I had just reported for work in Cincinnati. I just walked back into our building after attending safety training, which included tornado response. I walked into the reception area, and there was a post-it note on the door glass. It said, "Don, call home. Your house has been destroyed." At that time, I owned a trailer in Mount Airy Park, located just up the hill from Lake Cary. A Cat 3 tornado had come over the hill right behind the trailer court, then turned and went down through the town of Lake Cary. It was almost wiped off the map. 2 people killed. When I got back home the next day, I found that my place wasn't too bad off. My trailer was along the steeper part of the side hill and had about 8 feet of cribbing under the high end. All the skirting was gone and some siding was flapping in the breeze. My neighbors were not so lucky. The double wide next door was picked up and dropped. It split in 2. Roy's son, his place was farther up the hill. His home was picked up and dropped on 2 large propane tanks. The floor beams and tanks came up through the floor. Luckily, there was no explosion. In '99, my apartment building in Cincinnati was run over by a Cat 3 tornado. I had an apartment on the 3rd or top floor. At 5:30 a.m., I had an apartment, and at 5:31, I had a bathroom. This is a summary of that experience. My friend Danny was also a contractor. We had worked in the same department at Mahoopany for a lot of years before joining the contractor realm. Danny was staying with me a few days as his apartment wasn't ready yet. I was sleeping on the couch, and he had fallen asleep in the recliner. I'm the half-deaf guy, but I heard the sirens. Danny and I were both in our Hanes leisure suits. That's underwear, in case you missed it. Dan had a bad leg and had to wear a brace most of the time. Of course, he didn't have it on at that moment. I hollered at him to get up, telling him about the sirens. He got up and started for the bathroom. I got up, and like a dummy, I went to the patio door and looked out. As I looked out into the parking lot, the dry parking lot instantly had what looked like 6 inches of water in it, and it was blowing uphill. The tornado was coming from behind us. I was renting a furnished apartment. The complex got their furniture from Rent-A-Center. They gave me glass-top tables. When I realized the tornado was behind us, the lights went out. I turned and started for the bathroom. I fell over my glass-top coffee table that had a number of magazines on it. I found myself on the floor, and I was kind of like Scooby-Doo running in place, but on my hands and knees because I was on those slick magazines. I finally got up. Just as I got into the bathroom and shut the door, Dan and I put our feet against the tub. Both of us were around 250 pounds at the time. We leaned against the door with both forearms as hard as we could. About that time, there was a loud noise, and we started getting wet, and a shower curtain covered us. As we both had our weight and pushing against the door blew open 4 times. A 4-inch heat duct pipe came through the wall. If I was standing erect, it would have taken off my head. The wind and noise stopped as quickly as it arrived. We waited a couple of minutes before opening the door. About that time, the moon came out. We could see the moon by looking up in the bathroom. The big noise we heard prior to getting wet was the implosion of the windows and patio door and the roof coming off at the same time. As I looked out the door, I saw snapped-off lumber. I looked down to make sure we still had a floor. We did. First thought, where are our shoes? For those who remember the first Die Hard movie, would also remember Bruce having to run through broken glass in his bare feet. We had no idea where our shoes were located. Danny and I had no choice. We only had underwear on. We walked through broken glass and broken cinder blocks in the dark, trying to find our shoes and some clothes. We found some clothes, but when we did find our shoes, they were full of broken glass. I was still finding small segments of glass in my computer bag 3 months later. It was in everything. I had renter's insurance and pictures of everything I lost, so that worked out. All 6 brick apartment buildings were so badly damaged they had to be taken down. There is a lot more I could add to this, but we've all seen the aftermath of tornadoes on TV. The lesson learned: have a plan and keep a set of clothes, and especially shoes, in your safest location. Pulling glass shards out of your feet is something you don't want to experience. Since the Cincinnati experience, I've been within a mile of a number of other tornadoes. One in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, one in Cumming, Georgia, one in Dallas, Texas, and a pair of tornadoes north of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The latest was here at home this summer. They said that it did not touch down. Well, I was without power for a couple days, and all the roads around were blocked with downed trees. I counted at least 50 from here to the stop sign a mile down the road. I had a bunch down up on the hill. When the rain goes from vertical to horizontal in an instant, and you get 4 inches of inch-sized hail on the porch while watching tree limbs fly past your windows, where they're touched down completely really doesn't matter much. There ain't a darn thing you can do but pray. So now you know why sometimes I'm known as Mr. Twister. All the best, folks.